Hi everyone, and welcome to week 6 of Vector Illustration. I'm going to go ahead and take you through the content for the week. So this week what we're focusing on is custom typography. Some of the things that we'll be working on in the lecture material is identifying successful usage of custom typography in design, recognizing trends of handcrafted type, and also being able to demonstrate unique design solutions with attention to content, organization, style, and composition. You have a few things this week. We have a reading, chapter 8, the lecture on custom typography. I also have some of my own that will be posted in the announcement area. And then you will see here you have some things on art direction, and then you have a LinkedIn learning course that's, these are the individual chapters here, okay? And then we have the infographic project, which we are finishing up, and then a new project we'll be working on for a few weeks, and a quiz. So let's go ahead and go through the infographic project. Okay, so this past week you guys worked on your concepts for what you want to do for your step-by-step infographic. So let me go ahead and go through this with you. So this week you'll be working on getting it in digital format. So let's clarify some things on the spec sheet here to make it a little bit easier for you guys. So yes, you'll be doing it in Illustrator and using whatever tools you see fit to build your little illustrations. The artboard size, it says it's 10 by 20, portrait, no landscape. I'm open to it if for some reason you think it needs to be landscape, or if you think it needs to be a different size, like let's just say you need it to be tall and thin, like a 4 by 11. Use whatever artboard size you think you need for your document, because 10 by 20 could be a little intimidating when you're starting off. Then you're going to build your illustrations or your icons. I discussed last week that typography can be used, which is kind of like, rule breaking against the rubric and everything, but whatever. But it shouldn't be the focus of it. All right. So, of course, you're working with your illustrations this week. So now you're going to be working on making the page into a cohesive composition. So you're also going to be designing a little title for it. So whatever, let's just say, I know that I think I went against PB&J, but that's just the only thing in my head right now. So for example, if you were writing a little infographic on how to make a sandwich, you could make a little logo for it with the type, how to make a sandwich. And then below it, you'll have your composition for your infographic breakdown, okay? So for the presentation of it, here's everything that I need there. Of course, the writing portion of it. All right, let's go ahead and go back to the module. So this next week, we're going to be moving into the monster project. This one's actually a lot of fun. I think overall, most students love this project. So now we're going to be practicing your Illustrator skills, pretty much everything you've learned, and working on this through the final. This is, again, one of the most fun things that you're going to be doing here. So now you're going to be coming up with an illustration and tell a story with it. So utilizing pretty much all the skills that we've been, using in the course. So there's 3 parts to the project. Our first one is the story and research part. The second part is the idea generation, and then the last part will be the vector creation. So the last part, of course, getting it digital and everything. So let's see. I'll skip through you don't really need to. I mean, if you want to go back to the book, you can see the reference pages. So the first part, the story. In order to design and illustrate your monster, you'll first need to write his story or her story. The story will help influence the physical attributes and set a foundation for your sketches next week. Use the points below to write a brief story about your monster. 1 to 2 type paragraphs. Be creative. Feel free to add any details that will enhance your story. Pretty much paint a picture for me of what you think you're going to be doing with how you want your monster to be. And it could be a little bit more simple than 1 to 2 paragraphs too. Like if you want to bullet it out, I'm fine with that as well. Think about where the environment that they might live in. What's the name? Here's some examples. Your Yeah, I'm just saying Bob. Bob is from the sea but lives in the New York City sewers, or from the city but living in the country. Details that might make your monster look different in your illustrations. Ask what kind of personality, age, if you want to make a sidekick for him. What does your monster like to do? Does he have a really cool talent? So for the visual research for the portion of this, you'll be looking up existing monsters, illustrations, and story-related references, all kinds of color palettes, all the stuff that we've kind of been doing up until now. I'm sure you realize there's a process to, the projects. So for the Pinterest board, you'll only need 25, not 50. Okay. Your color palette inspirations are there. And then how to submit the final for the first reference part. So a link to your Pinterest board, your color inspiration, or you can upload images, and then the story should be typed out. So you can put it in the text box if you want, or you can upload it in the PDF, however you want to do to get me the information on your cool monsters. There's also some student examples. So I have a few student examples, and then I have some examples on Behance. So this was a final that a student submitted. So it was like a 3-headed kind of dog monster, and they're kind of arguing over the dinner because it's all gone. So these two got to eat, super happy and goofy, and then this one was obviously very upset because he didn't get to eat anything. This is a cute little monster that I liked. So they called it the art school monster. So just kind of wearing, the Vans with the high socks and the braces, and I call them the nerd goggles. I have the same glasses. I don't remember the exact backstory on this one, but the grandpa coffee monster. So he's just like an older monster with cool little fangs, and then he dropped his coffee, so he's upset about it. So that's kind of the setting. And then I have a few that I thought were just pretty unique that I kind of researched on my own. So this one's also a coffee monster, so he's obviously just waking up. You can see the color scheme that they use. He looks a little bit like Sully from Monsters, Inc. as far as color scheme, but he's obviously just waking up, having his cup of coffee, and probably getting ready to go to work. This one was pretty neat. Cannabis monster. So he doesn't have as much going on in the background, but you could see as far as the theme, like obviously it doesn't have to be this. It could be flowers, or if you want to think outside the box as far as maybe a substrate that your monster is made out of. It doesn't have to be cute. It could also be scary if you want it to be. It really just depends on your story for your monster. And this last one has a pretty good story to it. I thought it was really cute. This is Tip and Lip. Just really friendly, kind of fluffy monsters. And they made it into all kinds of things. They made it into like hugging and running, and the student was good at drawing. So a really, really fun project this next week that we're going to be working on for a little bit. All right, I hope you all have a great week, and I'll see you online.